there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I review books and bookish things. I try to upload on Thursdays and alternating Tuesdays. And if you enjoy what I do, please consider subscribing and sticking around. So today we are going to be reviewing a book that I got, hoping for something Jane Austen-y feeling without being a Jane Austen retelling. Because I haven't had the best luck with those lately. So today we are going over Pride and Prejudice and Pittsburgh by Rachel Lippincott. This book came out this year. It's from the co-author of 5 Feet Apart, which until I read this book I had no interest in reading, but I might have to look that one up. So let's get into it. So this book has a 4.31 on Goodreads, which I think is fair. Personally, I would give it a 5-star, but I could see where people wouldn't necessarily like it. I feel like they would be wrong, but opinions. There's no accounting for taste. This is a sapphic young adult novel with a time travel bent. So essentially, Audrey Cameron has just been waitlisted from art school after a devastating breakup and losing her mojo in her art, and she's rethinking about pursuing her passions. Meanwhile, back in 1812, Lucy Sinclair is being forced into a loveless marriage, and she is just disgusted at the very thought of it. So when Audrey is literally hurled into the past, into Lucy's estate, in 1812, sparks fly, but can they get out of their own way enough to find happiness? This book is thoroughly engrossing. It's a very fast read. It's charming. It's absolutely fantastic. The characters, I feel, are well drawn. Some of the criticism I saw on Goodreads was that the characters weren't mature enough feeling, or things like that, and I'm like, well, first of all, they're in high school. Like, Lucy's obviously not in high school because she's from 1812 in England. But, yeah, they're high schoolers. It's Audrey's senior year, and Lucy would be a senior also. Yeah, they would be high school seniors. And think about how mature you were when you were a high school senior, when you were 17, 18 years old. I know I wasn't the most mature, level-headed person. I doubt very many people were. Thinking about my classmates and some of the people I've worked with who are that age, like, it just doesn't happen. But yeah, this book actually made me want to look up 5 Feet Apart and read it, and it's tentatively on my to-read list because she's a co-author. I don't know how much say she had in the book, but this book is lovely. Another main criticism, which is where I think they're wrong, is that it's a sapphic love story, and therefore it's not worth telling. We shouldn't be presenting this as an option to children. And I'm like, well, kids are gonna be gay kids are gonna be gay. Bisexual kids are gonna be bisexual regardless of what you do to them. So why don't we show them what a happy, healthy relationship could look like? So that we focus so much on telling straight kids what a happy, healthy relationship looks like, or theoretically we do, that I feel like it's left out in LGBT plus spaces, that they don't get that representation, that so much of the media that I've seen, at least, there's cheating, there's deception, there's mistrust and distrust and bad things happening, and they don't get to be happy. And I'm sure it has to do with, like, dating back to Hays Code, and like they're morally corrupt, they're not, or whatever, and so the wicked must be punished at the end. Well, they're not wicked, they're just people. So it's nice and it's refreshing to see something, especially for a younger audience, that's happy, that lets people be happy, that lets them be flawed and troubled and concerned and confused and all of the things that 17, 18-year-olds are, and not just about their sexual identities, not just about where they are on a romantic spectrum, but about their future, about what they want to do with their lives, about who they are. Like, did you know who you were when you were a senior in high school? I thought I did. I thought I knew who I was. I was wrong. Um, but yeah, like it's wonderful. It allows them to explore who they are in, and they have Confederates, they have compatriots who are there to help them and support them. And then there are the antagonists who are there to show them that things can go wrong. And I think it's important to have both in the story. And I don't know, I read this book. I read this book while I was dog sitting. Like, I brought this book and another book with me, and I really should have brought a third book because both books ended up being very, very fast reads. Absolutely wonderful books, both of them. The other one is coming out next week. It's The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. I'm filming that one today also, so you will see the same shirt in that video. But it was so fast paced and so, like, I immediately cared about the characters. Like, I saw things about myself in the characters immediately, even though I'm obviously not from 1812 and the daughter of an aristocratic land-owning tycoon in the Regency period, and I'm not a Pittsburgh native, and I don't work in the families. But the characters are so multifaceted that it was easy to see myself in them also. I just can't recommend this book enough, I feel, because it was so well written. And so many young adult romance novels, like, do the will they, won't they, let's throw in a bunch of love interests and see which one sticks. And this one, you rooted for them the whole time, even before you knew that that was something that you could do. Even before you realized that you were supposed to be rooting for them, you wanted to root for them, which was good. And then there were 3 love interests for Audrey because she thought she was supposed to go back in time and find love. This one is really good, and there were some criticisms in the reviews that there were too many male love interests for a sapphic romance. And I was like, well, one of them is a lesbian, the other one is either bi or pan. And that representation matters too. That yes, it's a sapphic love story, but you can have a love story between a lesbian and someone who's bi or pan, and that's okay, and you should, because that happens in real life. The story is told first person, and it alternates in the chapters between Audrey and Lucy, and Lucy is doing the, oh, well, she's here to find love. She's actually there to rekindle her passion. But there are numerous suitors for Audrey because she's charming and interesting and different, and they like that. And that's good, and that's interesting. But we see in there, it shows real relationship struggles. Like, something that always seems to be a trope in romance novels is the mind reading. The, I know you so well, I know what you're thinking. And of course you don't, because you're not in their brain. They might not even realize what they're thinking. And so it's very tropey to have the miscommunication that leads to problems, but you kind of need that in this sort of story. But yeah, it was really, really good, really well written. I highly, highly recommend it. Have you read this one? Have you read 5 Feet Apart? Is 5 Feet Apart something you would like to see me read and review? Elevator pitch for the movie, but that's all I know about it. I think it's cystic fibrosis, and it's not contagious or dangerous to people who don't have it, but people who do have it can pass their version of it to the other person, so they have to stay, I think it's actually 6 feet apart, I think. And so they're like, well, let's get 1 foot closer, and they fall in love. And what happens? And, like, that's my understanding of the movie. I might be totally wrong or totally off base or mixing it up with something else. But yeah, I was mildly interested in seeing the movie. Had no interest in the book. this book has got me interested in the book, but I'm not sure if I want to read it because, again, she's the co-author, and I've read things by co-authors, and it's like, oh, you are the one who is the less strong writing partner. I actually like this one. Got it. Okay. Um, there are a couple sci-fi novels that Anne McCaffrey did a long time ago that she co-wrote with other authors, and it's like, I love Anne McCaffrey. It's the other author I don't like, and they're responsible for the slow parts of the book. Should I read 5 Feet Apart? Did you read this one? What did you think? Are you planning on reading this one? Let me know in the comments down below. And I am in the process of gearing up for spooky season. It is always spooky season, but spooky season nonetheless. Stick around. We have fun here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.